Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. We have our final prep video for Overwatch League season number 5. We are going to be doing our predictions. A couple of things that we're doing different this season. So I'm going to be doing the predictions a little bit quicker. In years past, I would, break it down into 2 different days, spend a good amount of time on each matchup, look at the map breakdown, things like that. We're going to change that up a little bit this year. We're going to go through the predictions a little bit faster and just kind of bullet point a few things to kind of look for. And as a result, I'm going to get that all in one video. And then we're going to be attempting to, and this is going to depend on scheduling. My work schedule varies quite a bit. The one thing that's certain is that I have to work a lot, and I have other responsibilities, and spending time with people that I care about, etc., etc. But we're going to try to get something out in the middle of the matches, whether it be a VOD review, or something similar to that, like a breakdown on a specific map or player or composition, something that stood out to us, right? And then we're going to continue doing the reviews once the week is over, kind of go through the big picture takeaways, and what that all entails. We are going to do a little bit of something different, however. I wanted to quickly run through the talent. Did have it right here. But we have a lot of changes in terms of the casters. Well, not the desk, but talent. Here we go. So we're going to whip through this really quick. The desk is the same as last season, which I like a lot. We have Zoe coming back, Danny, Custa, and Reinforce on the analyst positions. Of course, Zoe is the host, the hostess. And I think they all do a great job. Coming from the different backgrounds, 2 former pro players, Danny being a former translator, Zoe being an absolute veteran of esports, and Overwatch, I think they're going to do an excellent job as always. And then we go through the casters. We've got Mitch and Matt, Uber and Mr. X coming back. In my opinion, the GOATs of casting. Especially with Overwatch, they are the best pair that we've ever seen, I think, and we've seen them since Season 1, so super long term. Not much to say about them. Mr. X, hilarious. Uber, the rap god, super insightful. So, excellent pairing there. We got Jaws coming back with Necra. Again, seen them a lot. Jaws, I feel like, has bounced around with a lot of different, analysts, and he's done a really good job with all of them. So, I'm excited to see what he and Necra bring. We got Achilleos coming back. Always good to see him. He's paired with Avril this season. And I think that's another good pairing. We're gonna see more. Achilleos a bit more veteran in terms of the league itself, and then Avril. We get to see him a little bit last year, and they both bring a really nice excitement to the booth. And then we have Lemon Kiwi and Leg Day, who have been grinding out, doing a great job being contenders for a really long time. Just to see them get their time in the spotlight with Overwatch League is awesome. I think they're going to do a great job. You want to talk about another super high energy pair, they get really excited, really, you can kind of feel how deep they kind of dive into the game, which is great. And then we have Trid and Vicky Kitty rounding out. We saw Vicky Kitty last year, a little bit of Trid as well. Again, they've been grinding for a while, and they're going to do great. I really like all of these pairings. I think it's a good combination, of people. You have the different styles, the ones that are a bit more, analytical, or the, ones that are a bit more flamboyant about it. But they all do a great job, I think. Let me know what you think down below. But I'm super excited for the talent. Obviously, we lose Several of the pairs, most notably Bren and Sideshow, as they have moved on to more freelancey. I know that they, casted a lot of the VCT matches for Valorant, so cool to see them there. But obviously, super sad to see them go, as they're also in just an excellent pair of personalities. But in any case, we're going to get to the predictions now. First of all, we got New York Excelsior kicking off against LA Gladiators to start the season. Remember, tomorrow, 2 p.m., I'm going to miss this match because of work, which is really sad to me. But, I'll watch it, watch it back afterwards for sure. Two teams that I think are going to be great. I got the Gladiators in this one by a little bit. The core of their roster is still intact. New York has put together a whole new roster, so I think that's going to give Gladiators a bit of an advantage. And based on what we saw in my power rankings as well, I think the Gladiators are still a bit of a better team, so they get over the hump and win this one. But I see it being competitive. Then you got San Fran Shock taking on Paris Eternal. I got the Shock in this one. Again, new roster. Paris has a lot of their old roster back, but San Francisco, really solid roster. We know that Krusty, we know that 9K, they're going to have their team ready to play. I don't really foresee that being an issue. It's several of them. If you think about Cluj or Proper, it's a debut for a decent amount of their players in the league. So I think they're going to be super high energy and rearing to go. And Shock are going to get a win in I think it'll be a pretty competitive series. I don't think Paris folds down here, but Shock do win overall. We got Florida Mayhem taking on Atlanta Reign. Atlanta, the runner-ups last season, almost winning that championship. Florida coming off of a bit of a rough go. I got Atlanta taking this one down. I think they're gonna cruise a little bit. This is a team that already has some nice synergy. They have made some changes. And while I do think they lost a little bit of their top-end potential-wise, this is still a really solid team top to bottom. And while Florida has some nice pieces in place, I don't see them having the coordination and being quite as well-rounded as the Reign. Then we got San Francisco back in action, taking on the London Spitfire. We're going to go with Shock here. I think they go 2-0 for the first week. Again, roster up and down the board I think is a bit better. Some of this stuff is obviously going to be dependent on the meta. Last reminder, if this is 5v5, this is on the Overwatch 2 beta they're going to be playing on. No Hammond in the pool, or no Wrecking Ball I should say, in the hero pool, as he has a bug currently that's making people's games crash. So he is disabled for the first week. But in any case, I still like the Shock over Spitfire. Then you got an interesting one in Boston Uprising versus Vancouver Titans. So both teams making some improvements over the offseason, looking to bolster their roster and results for this season. Neither of them had a great year last year. I got Boston in a close one. Again, I like their tank line a little bit more. Their versatility. They have a couple of potential star players, and while Vancouver, I feel like, has rounded out their roster a bit, Boston, just a stronger team overall, so we're going to take them. Then we got Battle for Texas. That's awesome that they're doing that right away, week number 1. That is the final match on Friday, so make sure that you're watching that. Two teams that I think are both going to be extremely good. In this series, however, recently, it's gone a lot of the way to the Fuel. And I think this is where it goes again. I think Houston probably gets off to a nice little start. A little bit of home field advantage potentially going on. But I think Fuel is still a bit of a better team. And obviously, these guys have been playing together for a really long time. The core of the roster, that all the friendship, power of friendship memes were born of last season. For Dallas Fuel, essentially that whole team besides Jexay is still around, and I think that they're going to be really good. Super entertaining match, but I like Dallas coming out in clutch time. Then you go to Toronto Defiant versus Washington Justice. Gonna go for, in based on my power rankings, a little bit of an upset. I'm going to go Justice. I think we're going to see a little bit more sloppy-ish play right away. I think that's fair to say. Teams are still going to be adjusting to the 5v5, I think. And kind of settling into a meta. And Justice, their DPS is just so skilled that I think that they're going to win a lot of those duels and be the difference in the end and propel them to a victory. Next, you got Atlanta Reign taking on the New York Excel. I'm going to take New York in this one. Like I said, I'm super excited for this new roster. I think that it's really well put together. They're going to take some lessons, from their first match against Gladiators, come back a little bit stronger. Atlanta's going to be, I think, coming off a win against a weaker opponent than New York. And the Excelsior are going to maybe take them by, I wouldn't say take them by surprise a little bit, but just come out a little bit stronger and edge them out in a really tight series. And you got Gladiators taking on the Uprising. We're going to go for a 2-0 with Gladiators here. I think that they get both of their matches in week 1. I think Boston's going to split theirs. I don't think this one should be particularly close. I like Gladiators' roster, as we talked about, more. They have the good coaching in place. Not much not to like about them. Boston, I think you're still going to be finding their footing just a little bit. Then you got London Spitfire taking on the Vancouver Titans. We're going to go Vancouver with this one. I like Shockwave is a big X factor for me. Great player. Aspire, forming a nice little combo with him on the DPS. I think that they're going to make the difference and just be a bit better than, you may see, Sparker / Shax for the Spitfire. I think that Vancouver's just going to be a little bit better. Plus, I feel sneakily good about Vancouver's backline. And Spitfire a little bit of shuffling around back there. So we're taking the Titans in that matchup. Next, we got Paris Eternal taking on the Florida Mayhem. We're going to go with the Paris Eternal in a close match. The players have been playing together for a bit longer. They're going to be... I feel like Paris is going to be a pretty gatekeepy team, where they're going to perform really nice in some matches. We saw some nice sparks last season, and they played really well in spurts, just not consistently. And like I said, you bring a decent amount of the roster back. I think you make a couple little upgrades here and there, and they're going to edge out Florida in that matchup. Then you got Washington Justice versus Dallas Fuel. I think Dallas takes this one, and it's not that close. Again, as we talked about in the Houston series, this is a loaded Dallas team. I see them coming out very, very hot because they've been great, early season last year, and they're going to have a nice read of the meta because they've done it in the past. They've always been able to come up with a good comp and execute it well. And finally, we have Toronto Defiant matching up against the Houston Outlaws. We're going to go Houston in this one. I think they're going to be one of the top tier teams in this league. They're going to be burning coming off a loss to Dallas potentially. And they're going to just pop off because, man, that DPS line. I am so excited to see Dante and Pelican just tear people up. It's going to be amazing to watch. But there you have it. Those are the predictions. In our recap, I'm going to try to be a lot better at, actually putting down my record, how I did, in terms of the picks, because I think it's always fun to see. You get to see if I'm pretty spot on or a little touch and go, or if I was way off, 1 week. I'm gonna track the season in that way. But that is all I have for you. As of right now, like I said, final video before the league starts. Oh, man, I'm so excited. I think there's going to be a reinvigoration this season with it being Overwatch 2. I know for me that's how it was, where I was kind of, losing a little bit of my enthusiasm. And then as we got closer and closer, it's like, no, this is we're still all about this. It's going to be a tremendous season, I think. We're going to start seeing more in-person events, more and more as the season progresses, and I think that's only going to add some more fuel to the fire. So, hope you guys are excited for the matches. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have yourselves an amazing week, end of the week to weekend here. I know, we're almost through the work week. Power through, guys. I know I'm trying. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Leave a comment down below with any thoughts you have. And as always, we will see you in the next one.